guys, welcome to today's episode of Heather's Test Kitchen. Yes, I am wearing false eyelashes. I got magnetic eyeliner and I'm really excited about it, so I wanted to see the beauty of them. They're super glam and I will never wear them out in public, but for your, viewing pleasure, you get to see it. It's gonna be an adventure, so get ready, guys. We're making Mandarin muffins. So, and that is because as some of you already know, I panic bought a 5-pound bag of Mandarin oranges, and obviously I'm one person. There's like no humanly way possible for me to eat all of those oranges, and so we are making muffins with them. It's going to be kind of a savory. We're doing some allspice, some cloves, some nutmeg. So it's a little bit of a fall-ish recipe, and we're just going to go with it because we're in quarantine and no one's paying attention to what time of year it is. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I am aware that you can only see like half of this, but I'll be very careful about this. So I'm doing this a little bit backwards because you are supposed to do, like, you're sifting the flour into the other dry ingredients. But I did the flour first because I didn't want to mess up everything else. So it's, I think, 1.5 cups flour. I'll give you the recipe if you guys really want it. It's actually, yeah, we'll see if it works out. And then we've got a 1/2 cup of sugar. And then we have, I think it's 1/2 tablespoon of salt. We are using fine Morton's sea salt. That's not gonna work. I'm just using my hands to measure the tablespoons / teaspoons because, I mean, obviously proportions aren't my strong suit, but like, come on, it's muffins. Who cares if there's too much of anything? Okay, and I don't have allspice. The recipe calls for allspice, so I'm gonna be using a little bit of cinnamon and cloves instead. And allspice is basically that plus nutmeg, and we're doing nutmeg anyway. Ground cloves, just like a dash. I have all of these things. It smells like Christmas already. Because my holiday mulled wine calls for all of these things. Oh, and then it's 1 1/4 something of baking soda. So baking powder. 1 and a little bit. We'll call that 1/4. So we're gonna mix all of the dry stuff together, and then we're gonna be adding an egg, some milk, and then some fresh squeezed nectarines or Mandarin orange juice. And like I said, we were supposed to sift the flour in, so I'm gonna be a little bit extra diligent. Hello. Well. Okay, so we switched angles for what I hope would be obvious reasons. Thankfully, that incident was with the dry mixture, so we're not gonna have to worry about my phone. I cleaned it up very nicely. So like I said, we're just being really extra diligent in making sure all of this is really fully sifted through. It smells really nutmeggy, so maybe a little heavy on that, but it's okay. And then here in a second, we're gonna be adding the wet ingredients. Okay, so another quick update. So I'm using coconut oil instead of butter, which is a perfectly okay and slightly healthier substitute. I have the butter, I just don't really, I don't know, I felt like being fancy and healthier. And then we're gonna be using oat milk instead of regular milk. So this next part, it's just adding the egg, the butter / coconut oil, and the milk until it is moist. And then I read the recipe wrong, and so I was not supposed to juice them. I was supposed to just put the Mandarin pieces in. So this is gonna be a lot orangier, I think, than the original recipe called for, which I'm not mad about it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the coconut oil in first, and then the orange juice instead of the milk. We'll see kind of how that coagulates a little bit, and then texture wise, hopefully we'll get something okay instead of Mandarin pieces. I just don't want to undo what I had already done. So anyway, yeah. So the nice thing again about coconut oil is it has a really similar texture to like softened butter. So that's gonna do what we want it to do. The recipe calls for butter, not oil, so that's okay. So we're gonna mix this together before I add the milk. If it already feels like, yeah, I'm gonna add the orange juice bit, essentially that's what it is. The orange juice in before I add the milk in. And then, because this is super dry, obviously, but it called for 1.25 cups, and this is about 1 cup. And see, yeah, they said it was going to be a little bit dry. And obviously, if it was going to be pieces of the Mandarin oranges, you want it to be a little bit thicker, because the pieces as they cook are going to get juicy or whatever. I'm hoping that this is okay and it's just kind of, you know, an alternate version of it, using orange juice instead of pieces of the oranges. But like I said, proportions and stuff. It's a test kitchen, right? I'm always gonna do something weird and about it. Okay, so texture wise, it is a little bit thick still. So I think what we will add a dash of milk. I'm not gonna even measure it. Okay, so we're just gonna do a dash. I use the Chobani oat milk. I love it. I accidentally bought flax milk the other day. Not accidentally, but Walmart doesn't carry this. Only Ralph's does here in California. But I really like the Chobani oat milk. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer these to muffin tins and bake them. The recipe calls for 20 to 25 minutes, so I'll check on them in 20 minutes. I'll show you guys the process. Okay everyone, so I'm using my cute little Easter pie tins, or not pie tins, muffin tins, because it is still Easter season and I want to use them. This is a good texture in my experience anyway for muffins, so I'm hoping that it works out okay. I might be overfilling them a little bit, but my little toaster oven, I'm gonna have to do like 3 batches of this, just size wise. So if I overfill the first batch, I'm not gonna be upset about it. And also I'm the only one eating these, so like, who cares, right? Because Rona. They smell a little holiday-esque. And by holiday I don't mean Easter. So that's an issue, but whatever. Also, I made a frickin' mess with my phone debacle earlier, so I'll show you guys that later. So here are our tins. We're gonna put these in the oven for, I think, 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. And then we will see what they turn out to be. Got this mess. This is where it fell, but also over here, I was having it propped up over here and it didn't work, obviously. Okay, so this is 20 minutes. It smells like Christmas. They're not quite golden on the top. We're gonna do a quick temperature check. So let's see how they look with a toothpick. They're a little doughy in the middle. Let's look at the big one. I think that's pretty clean actually. So we're gonna let those sit. Right, y'all, here we go. Round 2. We fill these ones a little bit fuller, so they look a little bit more full. And we topped them with a dash of orange juice on top. So they're gonna be, I'm hoping anyway, a little bit crispier. They're not super brown on top, but they're definitely cooked all the way through, so yum! And there they are, the finished product, our orange muffins. We're experiencing severe technical difficulties with my phone today. However, I really wanted you guys to be here for the first taste of my orange muffins. These are really dense. I feel like I probably could have left them in for a little bit longer. Actually, no, very tangy. Definite orangey vibes. Very fall flavor. Which makes sense because the recipe was very fall, like we had nutmeg. Honestly though, really good. It's like a breakfast muffin. So that's that. Thanks for coming to today's episode of Heather's Test Kitchen.